Hey guys, it's Lily. So today I'm going to be doing a really different video. I have been contemplating on doing this video for a really long time, and just recently, actually like yesterday, I really had a feeling that I should film this video. If you've been watching me for a while, you might know that I am a Christian, but recently I have felt that God has told me that I need to share my testimony and my story to you guys. And I believe that there's someone out there in the world that needs to see this, and he's sending me to them. So I'm going to tell you my story. I wrote this down in math class. I'm going to start from the very beginning. I grew up as a Catholic. I was baptized into a Catholic family, but my family switched from being Catholic when I was like in second grade or something like that, first grade, but we never really went to church. I went to a Catholic school from kindergarten to 6th grade, so I learned about God and Jesus, but I just knew about them. Like, we had a class, and it was just something like whatever. An easy class, easy to get an A in. I didn't think much about it. I remember in like 2nd grade or 1st grade, and I wanted to go to church with my dad because we were switching churches. And we went to church, just me and him, and he was asking me, like, do you want to leave? And I'm like, no. But, I mean, I never thought anything of it. Like, I just wanted to go to church, and it was really weird. I believed in God pretty much my whole life, but I never had a relationship with him. I never prayed to him for anything. I never, talked to him. My parents had these little prayers that they would say at night, and I would do that, but, like, I never thought anything about it. I was always like, oh yeah, God, whatever, I believe in him, so I'll go to heaven, whatever. So it was never, like, a daily routine in my life that I would think about him. In 4th grade is when I really started gaining some problems. I was a problematic child. I got in a lot of trouble. I'm just a lot different from my siblings. My sister is really good, doesn't really do anything, doesn't really get in trouble, and my brother's kind of just like a laid-back guy, and I was just a very problematic child. And always in my life, I felt different, and I felt like alone. I have a depression and anxiety video that I put up last year in January or February or something like that, or March, I don't know. I'll link it down below, but I talk all about that and like the problems I had, but this is a whole different video. So I always felt like no one had my problems, and I just felt like no one understood me. And I had a diary when I was little, and I still have a diary. But I would write in my diary, my parents hate me, I hate my parents, I'm a devil child, all this stuff about like how no one understands me and no one listens to me. And I just felt alone for a lot of my childhood. I had great family, but I never appreciated my family until this year. If you watch my depression and anxiety video, you know that I became really depressed because a guy broke up with me that I really, really liked. And he was an atheist, so he does not believe in God at all. So he was a very big part of my life. So I grew so far away from God that I didn't think about him. I didn't even acknowledge his existence. I put his name in vain so much. I cussed. I did bad things. I didn't think about anything, really. I didn't think that I was doing anything wrong. I was just being a teenager. I was following my friends. I was just doing everything that everyone else was doing. So, I mean, like, what's the big deal? And early on, when I was younger, I remember this one day. I have no idea how old I was, but it was a while ago. And I prayed to God. And it was after my dog died, which was a long time. And I prayed to him, and I was talking to him, and I started crying because I missed my dog. And I asked him for things, and I remember this. Not very clearly, but I do remember it. And I asked him for things, and I never ever got a response. And I was wondering, like, well, people say that God gives you responses. He never gave me a response. So I was really confused, and I just never thought about it again. I never prayed again. Going back to last year, as I was saying, I never thought about God. Like, I didn't have people around me who talked about him. My mom and dad sort of believe in God, but they are not religious at all. They don't talk about God. They don't say anything. They say you can do whatever you want. You can believe in whatever you want. That's your decision. So I never had anyone to bring me into that world. So I was just acting like a disgusting teenager. I mean, I talked about disgusting stuff. I did some bad things. I didn't do drugs. I didn't drink, but I talked about it. I wanted to do it. I just felt very alone. I didn't have barely any friends. January, February, March, and I was harming myself, and I just felt like, what am I gonna do? I didn't feel anything. I felt like this could never end, and I felt, might as well just kill myself. What's the point of living? There's no point in living, and God would have helped me by now. If God is real, He would have helped me by now, because God helps people. And if people are saying, oh, well, God won't let you do that bad stuff, then why isn't He stopping me from doing this? Why isn't He stopping me? So I thought about killing myself. I thought about it because I didn't have any reason to stop myself. I mean, I didn't have really anyone to talk to. I felt very, very lonely. I love my uncle. My uncle is like one of my best friends ever. And he asked me if I wanted to sing at his church just as like some experience, because also last year I was getting very depressed because I didn't get any gigs for singing and acting. I just felt so untalented and I felt like I wasn't worthy of anything. So he asked me if I wanted to sing at his church just so I can feel a little bit better about myself, because the people that sang at church, he said, I mean, aren't experienced like you and you can maybe help them. So I was like, all right, whatever. So he was like, there's a night of worship at my church. Do you want to come and just listen to the songs that we're going to sing just to get a little bit of taste of what we're going to sing? And I was like, I mean, I guess so. I didn't really want to. I really didn't even want to go. I think I even texted my friends and was like, oh my gosh, I'm at church. I feel so weird. My grandma and my step-grandpa are very Christian. Not until now I've realized that they always wanted me to become a follower of Jesus. And I knew that they were Christian. And they go to a church, a very big church. And every year for Christmas, we go to like their little play that they have, but it's very big. It's awesome. And I just felt like I didn't fit in. And last year, when I was dating that guy, I went to church the day after my birthday, and like I didn't feel like I fit in. I felt very ashamed of myself. And I felt like I shouldn't be there. And a lot of my friends feel the exact same way when they go to church. They say, I don't feel right. I can't be here. I feel terrible. I don't belong here at all. But that's not the case. So I went to the night of worship, and I was texting my friends like, I really don't want to be here. I feel so awkward. And about halfway through the night of worship, I felt something come over me, and it's something I cannot explain. Now, keep in mind, I was an atheist. I did not believe in God at all. I believed in so many things that Christians do not believe in. I wanted to kill myself, but something came over me, and I was like, what is that? And this is how I explain it. It was like I was in a dream, and I was blinded for 6 months, and just windshield wipers came and cleared my sight, and I saw light. And I didn't like see light, but when I think about it and I think back about it, I saw light. And I just could see clear. One of the songs that is so dear to my heart is I Surrender. It's by Hillsong United, and I'll link it down below. I'll link down below a couple of my favorite songs. I never read the Bible before. I never connected with God, ever, really. But something made me feel so different. And so there was church the next day, and my uncle asked me if I wanted to come. I was like, yes, I do. Not a lot of people came because everyone was so exhausted from worship, but I came and I felt free, and I felt loved in a way that I've never felt loved before. And not in like a mother-daughter love, in a love that was like just so powerful. I was very skeptical. My grandma and step-grandpa and uncle had me over for dinner that week, and we were talking about it, and I was just saying everything. I was pouring my heart out to them. I was like, I don't know what's going on. The devil was whispering into my ear. I was on medicine at the time, so I was like, this is just medicine, like, going crazy. I don't know what I'm saying. And I just believed in so many things that Christians didn't believe in, so I was like so messed up, and I didn't know what was going on. And that night, I got saved. Because they showed me that God, no matter how much you want to think this, God didn't make us to hate us. He loves us so much, but there's so many things that we have to face in our life before we get to know him. So I was just very confused, and I was still very hurt, but I felt better. And I kept feeling better throughout the months, and God kept coming in my life somehow. He kept showing me things, and he kept giving me answers to questions. I was so hurt before he came into my life, and I asked him one night, if you are God, I need you to show me how to let go. I was so hurt by that one guy, and he was an atheist, and I loved him, but he was an atheist, and I had to let go of him, and I didn't know how. And I was like, if you're real, you need to show me. And that week, I learned something about the guy that was shocking, and I was like, okay, I had to believe at that moment, because he showed me something that just doesn't come like randomly. I started talking to people that believed in God. I have so many questions, and I just feel like God hates me, and I just feel like this, and I just feel like I don't belong, and they're like, it's okay. No matter what you have done in your life, no matter what you have done, if you had sex before marriage, if you're gay, if you're lesbian, if you are transgender, if you are a prostitute, if you are a drug addict, if you're an alcoholic, God loves you. No matter how much you hate to hear those words, because I hated to hear those words. I hated it. I'm like, God doesn't love me. No, he doesn't. How can he love a person that wants to kill themselves? How can they love a person who's been hanging around someone who hates God? He loves you. Well, he loves the crazy people because he made us all, and all he wants is us to be happy. He loves you. You who is watching right now, no matter what your religion is, he loves you. I sin every day. I sin today. I sinned yesterday. I sinned the day before. But he still loves me. If you just can't think he doesn't love me, I know. It's hard. It's so hard. But he does. So I started researching a lot. And I was researching the things that really got to me and the things that kept me away from God. But I come to terms that I can't change them. I can't change you who are watching. I can't change you. You don't have to listen to me. Do not listen to me if you don't want to. Because that's between you and God. It's not between me and you. I can't change you, but I can love you. And I love you no matter what you are, no matter what you've done. I love you, and I want you to know that. No matter how many times you've been rejected by people, no matter how many times you've been said no to, no matter how many times people have hurt you, I love you, and he loves you. But if you can't see him right now, you can see me and know that I love you. So I started researching so much, but I was still scared, and I was still hurting, and I'm still questioning things. I still question things, but it's okay. And I was just scared, and I was confused. It's just all about love. It's all about love. You know, I don't like some people. I really don't. There's some people in this world and some people in my life that I really just don't want to talk to. I really don't want to look at. I just don't want to communicate with. But I still have to love them. No matter how much it hurts, I still have to love them and forgive them. I don't have to talk to them. I don't have to be their best friend. But you have to forgive and forget and love them. Because they could have been going through a really, 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 really hard time. And then they put you in a hard time. But no matter how many mistakes people have made, they still need to be loved. Because we all come from one thing. One thing. Wait, how did we all get in this world? It couldn't have been one human who just produced so many people. It had to be something so much bigger than us. Who created these trees? Who made the seeds for the trees? Who made the sky? It could not have been a human. It has to be something bigger. And it couldn't be science, because who made science? If people say it was just science, it just evolved, who made science? Who made the moon? Who made wind? Couldn't have just magically evolved in just some... No. Something had to have made it. The one thing that is so hard for me, and is so hard for so many people, is thinking, why does God let people kill other people? Why does God let people hurt me? If I love God, why do I get hurt? Free will. Satan. We all have free will. He can't stop us from our free will. If I want to go jump off a bridge right now, I will jump off a bridge and I will die. He won't stop me because I have free will. But I'm not going to do that because I respect myself and I respect God. And Satan will come and whisper things in your ear that you do not want to hear, but he'll say it, and he'll say it such in a tone that you believe so much that it's like, where's God? Well, he's not here, so he's obviously not real. I talk to God privately a lot, and it's my favorite thing to do because when the Holy Spirit comes down and grabs my heart, I feel so happy. It's like nothing you've ever experienced. The feeling when you're happy and when you get their favorite present on Christmas, it's like that but times 10 because it just brings me to tears. And the Holy Spirit comes and tells me what to do and gives me signs of what I should do. I tear up and I start crying because nothing can make me just cry. I mean, how can I just cry from just talking to a wall? It's my heart. There isn't just nothing that I can cry to. I mean, it doesn't make sense, right? Something has to be so strong somewhere in this world, somewhere in my heart, that makes me so emotional. It can't just come from nothing. Listening to music helped me so much. That's when I really believed, was when I listened to music. And my grandma gave me a CD once when I was little, and it was when I was depressed in like 4th grade. And I threw it away. I never listened to it. I didn't even know what was on it. But I remember the day I put that CD in the player, and I pressed play, and I started crying. Because the song was called Beautiful, and it was about how I'm beautiful, and about how no matter what I've done, I'm beautiful. And I'll link that down below, too. When I started listening to that music, it changed my life, and it changed my perspective. And it was really hard because I go to a public school. There's so much diversity, and I'm surrounded by a lot of people who don't believe. And it's really hard for me because people know me as a non-believer. I can make my own decisions. I have free will. If my friends are going to smoke weed and going to a party and, drinking, I can do that. But I don't want to. I don't want to. Because I love God and I respect myself too much. People are starting to do sexual things now. I can do that. I can have sex. But I don't want to. Even if I did have sex right now, God would still love me. He would still love me. I care too much about him. I care too much about myself that I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. The thing about being a believer is that there's so many challenges, and it's so hard because Satan comes in and tells you, oh, well, I'm going to put a really hard task on you. I'm going to give you some people that don't believe, and they're going to tell you some bad things, and you're going to have to deal with it. Or you can just, you can just forget all about God and come to me. Everyone else seems so happy. Just come back to me. You don't want to be the outcast, do you? Heard that plenty of times. You can't listen to that. You have to trust in yourself and trust in God, no matter what. I hope I've changed someone's life today because I was called to make this video. I was called to do this. And you can hate me, but it's okay because I still love you. No matter how hard that is to comprehend, I still love you. Very hard thing for me. I'm always thinking negatively, and one negative thing will put me down. But I have to think of the positive sides now, and that makes me so happy. What I really did start doing when I first became a believer is I started writing on my wrist Bible verses, quotes. I wrote God. And the most recent one I had was the cross because I never really realized what the cross meant. And that would be a whole other video if anyone wanted to see that. But the cross is very special, but people just don't understand. When people think of God and Jesus, they think of a religion. But when I think of God and Jesus, I think of my relationship, and I think of my Father and my love. If you come across this video and you're that person that God sent you to me, I love you. And I just want you to know that you are loved more than you can imagine. No matter what you have done, no matter what you believe in right now, you are loved by something so much greater and so much more powerful than anyone. And then your mom, then your dad, then your brother, then your grandma, then your friend. You are loved. If you ever need anything, if you ever need to talk to me, if you have questions, I had questions. I had so many questions, and I had so many good answers because I have such a good family. But if you have questions and you can't talk to anyone, and you heard something today that touched you, please come talk to me. Please. Please write me an email. Please send me a message on Instagram. Please send me a message on Twitter. Please comment down below. Please private message me. Because I might not have the answer, but I can help you. And I can assure you that no matter how much struggle you have right now, that you are loved. I love you guys so much. And today, I hope that you did at least get one thing out of this video, and that it is that you're loved. No matter how many mistakes you've made, no matter how many problems you have, I love you guys. And there's going to be so many special things coming your way, so many special things coming my way, and so many special things going to happen to this channel. I can just feel it. I've been talking about doing a giveaway with my dad. He really wants me to do it. If you heard anything from today and you want to come back and just learn more and subscribe, if you don't want to, that's fine. I hope that you understand that you are loved and that there's nothing going to stop me from loving you. Nothing going to stop God from loving you. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. Bye.